What if everything you believe about yourself is wrong? Can you see the realities lived by others? Hello, welcome to Tales Under the Cat Tree. I'm your host, Dupes. Each week, I pair a compelling piece of fiction or autobiography with bigger topics. Words create the worlds we live in, and stories provide a lens into understanding history, technology, or business by connecting personal narratives to the wider picture. Subscribe at tales.dupes.ca for more original writing and engaging interviews. Today's episode is all about empathy and the realities we create and then live in. I'd like to start with a story I wrote. It's a story fully presented as dialogue between two people. The story is called Watching the Wheels.
Hey, Frank. How's the world passing you by?
Well, the rain's come and gone. The birds are pooping. And a family of raccoons have gone and moved into the back of the alley. Ranting, rustling, and screaming, I tells you.
Not the kind of weather to be about. I'm off to the South Hotel. I heard you were back out here and wanted to say hi before I moved on.
Yep, got carted out to the hospital. I'm guessing the word went around. My ticket stopped. Guess I was dead and done, but whatever. I'm back here, right? The docs gave me a day, a week, I don't know. Liver shot, lungs are gone, probably running on empty. Never let him have you at the end, Joe. I'm going with the wind in my face with my people, not them docs and their beating machines.
They give you anything to take?
Nope. I didn't give him a chance. Ran away before they could.
Too bad. Could have fetched you something on the market, I suppose.
Drugs ain't gonna pull me through, Joe. Look, my time's up. I can feel it. There's a smell, a sound when I breathe, like a cough that just ain't gonna go away.
Frank, what are you doing out here? If I had a few days, I'd be holed up in a hotel with a whore.
See, that's the thing, Joe. I already bid it. I'm on an extra inning, a short one. I have a few people to see.
See? What the hell are you on about?
Take a seat. Here. Now, look. Look over there. That's young Eland. Every day, same thing. He comes to that stoplight, sets up his magic tricks. Juggles his balls, wiggles his mustache, laughs for cash from the drivers.
Yeah, one of him. Looked at him once in a while. Seems to do all right out here. Watched him carry a wad of cash away every day.
But you're not seeing him. He takes the money. He waits for the light. It turns green. The cars move on. He cries, Joe. He sits there and he bawls. The lights turn again, and he's out there smiling. He gotta see. Then look, over there. That mother and a boy? From foreign parts. Don't speak a proper word. She's got a box of sweets she peddles to passers-by. The boy can be more than 3 or 4. Could be mute. Definitely something wrong with the feet. Can't walk straight. Looks beaten.
These kind of folks shouldn't be here, Frank. You know it. They're just adding to the problem. People only got so much to give us and they take that away too? Useless. Better if they'd stayed where they were instead of coming out here.
Joe, you have to see them. That mother, I don't know where she's from. She's pulled through further than you nor I. I can't unsee them. That mother, she fights for that kid. I saw her kicking the shit out of a guy trying to touch him. She's all good. I see them. They need to know that.
What the fuck has seeing anyone done for them? We are a dime a dozen. No one cares about us anyway. We might as well get while the getting is good. That's why I'm off to the hotel.
Maybe it's 'cause I'm old, and this is my last go-around. But people gotta know we ain't alone. I knows as hell that it only takes a single thing to put you out. But maybe, just maybe, Joe, a single thought can put you back in. Look, over there at that bus stop, that girl, She comes every Tuesday. She walks by with her dad. Think he's getting some treatment over at that facility around the corner on Smith. Anyway, she drops him off, comes and sits on that bus stop, looks at each bus. One day, she's gonna get on and leave. Maybe if she knew I can see her, that I understood her, maybe it'd change her.
I think you're full of shit, Frank. Really. That girl's gonna end up like the rest of the wackos we see around here, drugged up and whored up. What do you think seeing her is gonna do? Nothing. Who cares? I'd rather make a buck. Get my butt out of here. At least you done something for me. None of these people done nothing for us. Why even waste a minute thinking about them? If I was you, I'd get myself back to the hospital. Get the drugs, get more than you need, sell some, and get done with it.
Well, Joe, guess we all gotta go sometime. Anyway, you better be getting to your hotel. Leave an old man to his thoughts. I'm glad we got to know each other back then. Happy you came by today. Seems like you're pulling through now. Gives me hope. Now get. Remember an old man next time you come by or whatever.
You betcha. You're strong, Frank. I reckon I'll see you here more than a week from now. You'll beat this like everything else. Now quit wasting time like I will.
Yep. Be on your way. I'm sure I'll be here, watching the wheels.
The story you just heard is called Watching the Wheels. Yes, both the title and story is a reference to John Lennon's song Watching the Wheels, one of the most amazing songs he wrote, at least in my opinion. You might have wondered who the two voice actors are in the telling of the story. Welcome to the wonderful world of voice-based AI. The story was acted out by me, and then the voices applied through the AI software at 11 Labs. I've seen and heard about how AI can really change the field of voice acting, but never had I experienced or used it. I am incredibly impressed with how easily I could put this together. At the same time, though, while the world is enraptured by the OpenAI generative text models of the world, the AI now being released for voice and video will change the world in ways I don't think we can even begin to guess. I am left with a myriad of questions, where just the top two are: what happens when voice acting is available to everyone as easy as taking a picture on a camera? And what happens when anyone can clone your voice with a few seconds of audio and use it for evil? These will all create more realities that our poor brains will need to fight with, deconstruct, and understand. Already, regardless of AI, our relationship with what is truth is very nebulous. You don't need AI to create hallucinated realities. We can do that all by ourselves. So let's talk about fighting with the realities that we create. We all live in our heads. Our minds make up the reality in which we find ourselves. It creates colors, feelings, sights, and sounds, and it ensures we remember our past, connect with our present, and imagine futures. So what happens when we realize the reality we live in is not what we had thought? In my university days, there was a woman who a group of us considered a dear friend. She was witty, charming, outwardly beautiful, generous, and helpful. One semester, though, this person did not come to class. We received a note saying that she was sick, sadly with cancer, and in the hospital. Someone then decided to do the most obvious thing and sent a bouquet of flowers to the hospital in a fairly small town. From what I recall, the woman's father received the note and flowers and forced his daughter to admit that she was actually not sick at all, and instead, all of it had been an elaborate lie. She had created a reality, and we had created a reality, and when the realities collided, they could not be reconciled. Like matter and antimatter meeting, all hell broke loose. I am sure that you can find stories in your life where what you believed about someone turned out to be a false narrative. When it happens, we question our judgment. We look for the clues that could have revealed the truth. There are the partners who cheat on you, the friends who swore they would never do whatever such thing, and any number of other examples where you are left scratching your head. We spend a lot of time trying to understand why such an incongruity occurred, and often we mark it down to the person being crazy, evil, and or otherwise deranged. What is harder to do is to try and reconstruct the reality of the other person. This is what we are trained to do as historians. In order to study the past, we need to put ourselves into the shoes of people and their reality. We need to become them. We need to believe in them. And we need to see the world through their point of view. To do that, we examine as much evidence as possible, and then we create hypothetical narratives. As you can imagine, and as I'm sure you have yourself done, you realize that all realities you create which are not your own, even when based on evidence, are a form of fiction, open to being challenged. When the evidence is convincing enough, the narrative comes close to resembling what we objectively agree is the truth. What is even harder than reconstructing a reality of another person is to deconstruct the reality that you create for yourself. There is this expression that you are the hero of your own story. In most cases, this is a motivational phrase to note that you control your own destiny, that you can manifest the change that you seek. For me, this is also one of the reasons why there is so much conflict in the world. You are the hero of your narrative. You are not a bad person. You are never someone who is evil, and you would never want to intentionally hurt someone. But we all sometimes do, whether we know it or not. If you can deconstruct your own reality and ask yourself, what if what I believe about me is wrong? Then you have a very powerful way of examining the world around you and how you move through the reality that you weave about you. Anyone suffering from so-called imposter syndrome is likely shouting, "Isn't that what I do all the time?" I would argue instead that even saying you have imposter syndrome is a reality that you create for yourself. It allows you the freedom to get something wrong and say, well, obviously I didn't know. I wasn't supposed to know. Or give yourself extra kudos when you get something right. Hey, well, look at me. I'm so awesome. I wasn't supposed to know that. By being able to step outside your reality and examine yourself from different points of view, you can start to understand and correct the vision of you that lives in someone else's reality. I will give you a very basic example. You are an expert in software packages A, B, and C. Whenever someone asks you about a piece of software, you respond immediately. One day, there's a promotion and you are not considered. You get very mad. The person they gave it to only knows software packages A and C. In this very simplistic example, in one version of the reality you have created, it is likely that the manager is terrible and you find your ways to leave the job. Another version of that reality may come from realizing the manager only ever saw you respond about software package B and assumed, wrongly, that you didn't know A and C. Admittedly, there's more than these two sets of realities in this example, but you get the general picture. The stories we tell ourselves fuel the narratives with which we live our lives. For those seeking to truly create change around them, you must question how accurate the reality you have constructed is, and also seek to understand the various realities others find themselves in. Here are some ways that I try to practice jumping into other realities. Read and write fiction. The ability for us to embody and live the lives of others is one of the most powerful things you can do. Number 2, play tabletop role-playing games. Playing games allows you to try out new ways of thinking, and while you might be playing in a fictional world, this will give you lots of ways to try out ideas. Thirdly, turn the tables on some basic idea in your life. Imagine that something basic in how you perceive yourself is not correct, and examine your interactions from that point of view. Fourthly, when someone gives you a compliment or a criticism, instead of playing the hero or the victim, really examine why this happened and what about you caused that to happen. And finally, today you can ask your friendly AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude, for example, how you might want to think about things in a lateral way. In my personal opinion, the cornerstone of creative or lateral thinking begins with the ability to jump into another reality. Remember, what we perceive as reality is a bunch of light hitting our retinas, creating electronic signals which are smoothed over by our brain into a movie that is played out in our head. Given different pieces of information, your brain will absolutely create a different reality. The best we can do is to fight with the realities that we think we are living in so that our combined reality is more harmonious, understanding, and filled with joy. As with many of the episodes that feature one of my stories, I want to take this opportunity to thank my wonderful writing group, the Chapter Chasers, who were able to give me lots of great feedback on the story. For this story as well, I want to thank Dr. Erwin Warkentin, who also gave me constructive criticism. Also, for this week, this episode was recorded live while on the go at our office in Singapore. So thank you very much to all my colleagues in Singapore, especially Viktor Djupsjöbacka, for being patient while I did all my recording. Thank you. Thank you for listening to another episode of Tales Under the Cat Tree. If you want more original stories and interviews, check out the archives wherever you listen to this podcast. We've covered topics and stories about immigration, artificial intelligence, Stalinist Russia, and otherization, to name but a few. If you have fiction writing you want to feature, or have an interesting story to tell, or know someone who does, please do get in touch with me. This podcast will always be free. Support our work by subscribing and sharing with those who might care. You can reach me through email, contact@dups.ca, bluesky@dups.ca, or on my Substack at tales.dups.ca. The intro music is composed by me. Give your pet a cuddle and your loved ones a hug till we meet again for some tales under the cat tree.